In sports, the goal is to play your best. Regardless if you're playing golf or hockey on a team sport or not, you yourself are constantly trying to play to your fullest potential. And now that your mindset approaching and during competition is so important, it's also important to understand how to get in a good mindset, where you can put yourself in the best position to succeed. What's going on, everybody? I'm Kyle, and if you're new to my channel, what I do is I take real life situations, real life experiences, break them down in psychological terms to help you further understand why we do what we do. And in this video, I'm talking about sports psychology, and I'm really looking forward to this video because I've been involved in sports heavily most of my life, high level sports, multiple different sports. I have some friends away at university playing extremely high level sports, so looking forward to take all the knowledge that I've accumulated over the years from playing, from my friends, from other sports psychologists, and give it to you in this video. And in this video relating to sports psychology, it's all about how to reach your fullest potential playing sport, starting with your mindset, but I'm going to put a little twist on it. So let's get into it. This one's for my athletes. Traditionally in sports psychology, you try and harness maximum production, or how to get into peak performance and stay there as long as possible. And we want to reach peak performance, and we want to stay there as long as possible, and we want to get maximum production out of our performance. But what if we get out of peak performance? And, how do we react to that? What's our next move? How do we get back to peak performance? That's what I want to focus on. I want to focus on the time from where you exit peak performance and the time where you enter back in. If we can minimize that time, you can get right back into the groove and you can get out of this slump as fast as possible. So I play quite a bit of golf in the summer, enough to take it seriously. And if you don't know golf, people get mad playing golf. And as soon as you play golf, you understand why people get so mad playing golf. And in golf, it's very hard to get to peak performance, let alone stay there. Let alone hit a good shot. This is a disclaimer. This video might not be the problem solver to your poor golf game. So to describe peak performance, it's when you get into your flow state, and everyone's peak performance is different, but we can all relate. It's when we get into a state where everything seems to come naturally, where we don't think, we just do, we feel. Physically, you start preparing in warm up. Mentally, you can start preparing an hour, 6 hours, a day, a week ahead. How prepared do you want to be? So again, I'm focusing on the reaction to negative stimuli that gets you out of peak performance. And what that means is basically when you smoke a drive off a tee and then shank your next shot into the trees, or you miss your 3-footer for par, or you throw a snowman on your scorecard after you par 3 holes in a row. And I want to take the time now to explicitly say that this applies to all sports. The examples I use may pertain to golf, but the information that I'm given about minimizing your time frame from leaving peak performance to entering peak performance again, this information applies to all sports and how to maximize your performance. So after an event happens that takes us out of peak performance, our typical reaction is we get mad. And it's okay. So, you hit your tee shot in the water, get mad, okay, soak it, you messed up. And that part now is over. The focus now is the point that you put your club back in your bag and then where you walk up and hit your second shot. That point is where we're focusing on, where you can get back into peak performance, back in the mode where you can execute a task. So the point there I'm trying to make is that when you leave peak performance or your flow state, every play, every shift, every swing is new. You can't be compensating from what happened last time or the last shot that happened. You got to approach it as this is something new, this is a new task, and I need to execute it properly. The focus needs to be, I need to carry out this task based off what's given me here, not what happened last time and what was going on there. So with all that information, how do you actually get back into this peak performance as quick as possible and minimize the time where you have that negative mindset right after a bad play? And I broke this down into 3 phases that you need to exclusively focus on. And the first one is initially leaving peak performance until the next play. So this is literally from you come off a bad shot, you come off a bad play, the minute that you're about to walk up to that next shot, in that time frame, what you need to focus on. And during this time, you need to focus on what went wrong, what was the factor that threw me out of this peak performance or my flow state, and most importantly, how do I appropriately react to it where this next shot I can get something back. You just hit a bad shot. Okay, my hands were open. Okay, I need to focus on my follow through. You can't have thoughts like I'm a piece of crap or I need to do this, or I need to hit this exact shot. Because when you place certain expectations for yourself and you don't meet them, this negative mindset will continue. This part is to get your focus back from what happened to what you need to do next, to get back to a good mindset where you can execute the task at hand and not focus on what just happened before. This phase especially you don't want to drag out because it's the easiest thing to fix, but the hardest to do so. And the longer it remains, the worse you play. Now in phase 2, it's all about finding your rhythm again, to do the little things right. When you're in peak performance or in your flow state, all the little things seem to come natural. So in phase 2, it's all about focusing on the little things you need to do in your routine to get back into a good mindset, and where you can execute the little things properly and the big things to get taken care of. This is done by regaining your focus from what went wrong previously and understanding what went wrong, and then focusing on the little things. Get into your routine, get in your groove, stretch, shake it off, get some confidence, some energy. It's all about getting that one play that gets you some momentum. Once you get that one play, you can really now remove the thinking aspect, where you get into your routine, you're taking care of the small things, you're executing at that higher level, and now you're beginning to feel that flow. The third phase is entering the flow state. And this, you just got to let happen. Athletes know when they're entering the flow state. It's when you just let your athletic ability take over, your skill take over. You enter this flow state and you just play your best. So to recap, peak performance is extremely important in sport, and it usually determines how you play. And it's driven by your mindset and how you approach the game and prepare to be able to reach this peak performance and enter this flow state. And being able to maintain peak performance is extremely important, but it also doesn't really matter much when something happens and then you go in the slump for the rest of the game. So it's important to understand when you get out of peak performance, as well as steps that you can take to get back into peak performance as fast as possible. And the first phase is when you initially get out of peak performance or your flow state, and the focus here is from the moment that you finish that bad play to the next time you have the opportunity to play. And during this time, you want to focus on your routine, what you need to do to get back to a good mindset to execute the next play. All the focus in phase 1 is getting back into a good mindset by focusing on your routine and getting into a state when you play your best. The second phase, after getting back into a good mindset and a good routine, is to focus on the small things. When you take care of the small things, the big things take care of themselves. Focus on things like your technique. When you have good technique, you're able to execute these certain shots, these certain plays, these other desirable outcomes. The focus should not be on, I have to hit this shot, or I need to do this, or I can't do this. You can't place certain expectations on outcomes for yourself, because if they're not met to a certain standard, then you're going to be left dissatisfied. I can't walk up to a golf shot saying, I need to hit it this high. It needs to draw in, 6 yards. It needs to go this far. And if I don't hit it, I'm going to be dissatisfied. I need to go in saying, this club goes this far. If I swing like this, it does this shot shape and it goes this far. I need to execute that. I need to execute this swing, not this standard of a shot. And that's where there's often a discrepancy with athletes, where there's an expectation of how you need to play. Well, at least that's what I did. And that's not the way you need to go approach it. You need to focus on the action that leads to the result, not the result. And lastly, the third phase is just going back into the flow state and achieving peak performance. You just let this happen. You just let your natural athletic ability take over, your skill take over, and you play your best in this state, and you can reach the maximum potential of play and success. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I really like the topic. When I was thinking of ideas and how to deliver the topic, I really got into the ideas and the stuff I was talking about, because I really, I honestly felt like that this information that I was given, I wish I had when I was playing sports. So, I took it really as a psychologist perspective of how I was going to deliver this information. And like I said, I have a lot of friends who are playing extremely high level sports, who are playing sports university, in the dub and the AJ. So, I took the perspective of, how can an athlete like that achieve a higher level of play? So that's why I took this small area where, can really make or break someone's game if it's not taken care of properly. Broke it down, explained it. So now that an athlete at that stature can further reach a higher level of play and, reach a higher level of success. And again, I played high level sports. And so I took the information that I wish I had and the information that I've got from other sports psychologists, playing with some friends, some of the stuff that they work on, and, really just tried to deliver something that could help a high-level athlete, a low-level athlete, any type of athlete to further get better. Because, again, that's what I'm all about with this YouTube channel, providing information to understand why we do what we do, to get better, to gain more information, to help us succeed, and, overall, just be the best version of yourself. And I'm just trying to diversify right now. Like, the people who have been watching my videos, every week it's kind of like, what's he going to talk about? So I want to show how diverse I can be, how I can talk about different subjects, deliver it effectively where you can understand it. You can take the information and put it in everyday life. And, overall, again, just provide you with like a bunch of different information in a bunch of different fields. So, you can understand the range that I have, as well as in all these different fields, the information you could gain. So if you enjoyed my video, give it a like. If you like the topic I talked about, subscribe to my channel. Feel free to check out some of my other videos. I talk about a lot of great stuff there, a lot of great information. I'm uploading videos every single Wednesday, 100% right now. So check out my videos every Wednesday. A lot of great content coming every week, great content. And feel free to leave some comments. Let me know how I did. Let me know how I explained the topic. If you have anything that, you want me to explain, to talk about, drop a comment. I want to hear back of how I'm doing. The views, I'm really happy. So thank you to everybody. But give me some feedback, how I'm doing, how I can get better, how I can talk about the things that you want to know. And what I do is I take real life situations, real life experiences. I break them down in psychological terms to help you further understand why we do what we do. Let's get better together. Peace.